Good morning, grade 10. And for today's lesson, we will be discussing another speech, which is extemporaneous speech. Okay? So if you have still remembered, last time we have discussed impromptu speech, right? So you give impromptu speech when you are asked to speak on the spot and you do not know ahead of time that you will be speaking before a group of people, right? And just a short review, so you are given an impromptu speech during meetings wherein you will give your suggestions or opinions. What else? So, news interviews wherein journalists will ask you some questions. And of course, during class participation, when your teacher asks you a question like what we have during our live discussion. Okay, and this kind of speech, I know it is not easy to give an impromptu speech, but this kind of speech will test you on how you fast, or rather how fast you organize your thoughts in a very short period of time. And for today, we will be discussing another type of speech, which is an extemporaneous speech. So if you are ready to listen, we will going to discuss, or rather we will start with the definition. So what is an extemporaneous speech? So what is an extemporaneous speech? So extemporaneous speaking is the art of public speaking given on the spot with little or no preparation involved. So it is a kind of speech that involves the speaker's use of notes and some embellishment to deliver a speech. So when we say embellishment, it means elaboration or addition. And to clear this up, a speaker who uses this method would have note cards or prompts that guide him from point to point, but he uses his own words as he goes along. So that is extemporaneous speaking. Before we proceed to the next slide, let us first find out what are the differences between impromptu speech and extemporaneous speech. Actually, they are both associated with each other, but impromptu speech is on the spot, while extemporaneous speech is carefully prepared. Also, they differ in time allotment or time allotted for preparation. So, impromptu speakers have absolutely no time to prepare, while extemporaneous speakers have anywhere from a short period of time, let's say 5 to 30 minutes, to a few weeks. They also differ in delivery method, wherein the impromptu speech is generated instantly and delivered immediately, whereas the extemporaneous speech is delivered using just a few notes. So those are the differences between impromptu speech and extemporaneous speech. All right. And here are the mechanics that you should know when you are preparing and performing an extemporaneous speech. So first we have, you will create your speech quickly and will speak without written notes, nor you will memorize your speech. Okay, next we have, with a very short amount of time, you will create, practice, and deliver your speech with either an informative or persuasive function depending on your audience and your purpose. Next, we have, you may speak extemporaneously in a competitive activity in which you learn to think on the spot and develop better analytical skills. Okay, so example of it is when you are participating a seminar and at the end of the seminar, you will be asked a question and you will prepare your speech for 30 minutes only. So that is, or those are some mechanics of extemporaneous speech. So moving forward, let's discuss some steps for preparation. So although there is typically little time to prepare for an extemporaneous speech, there are few things that you should know to improve your speech. So first we have prepare your speech. Of course, so you need to prepare regardless of how much time is allotted. So a concise talk that includes the beginning, the main point or the body, and the conclusion. Okay, next we have consider this when you first receive your topic, and if it is a topic you are intimately familiar with, then this step should be simpler. So take note that topics are in the form of questions about current events. And okay, so number 3, so you have to organize your speech around this central idea and refer back to it several times. So here, this will make your speech resonate more with the audience. All right, so those are some steps for preparation. So you have to remember that in extemporaneous speaking, the concept of primacy and recency is very important. This means that listeners will only remember the first piece of information or the last piece of information that they hear in your speech. So placing the central idea at the beginning of your speech makes it more likely to be remembered. And lastly, you have to practice using whatever time you have left. And now let's talk about time limit, okay? So first, once you have chosen a topic, a maximum of 30 minutes is allotted to prepare the speech. So this time should be used for research and writing a note card to help you remember the key points of your speech. Okay? Next we have, okay, number 2, once the 30-minute preparation period has elapsed, so you must deliver a speech no longer than 7 minutes, okay? And there is always a minimum and time limit. So here you have to deliver your speech not longer than 7 minutes. And now let's talk about note cards because it will play a crucial role in your speech, okay? So in other speeches, you are able to hold or bring some printable or written materials while you are performing, but in extemporaneous speaking, you are just able to bring note cards, and your note cards have limitations, okay? So you may be able rather to use one 3-inch by 5-inch note card to help you through your speech. So here are some notes to remember for your note card. So first, previously prepared or typed materials are not allowed in extemporaneous contest or activity. So do not bring any printed materials. Next, so often the word count of the card will also be limited. So you don't have to write everything. And lastly, though note cards may seem helpful, the best extemporaneous speakers are able to absorb their research information during the preparation period and deliver a speech without notes. So we are done with the definition of extemporaneous speech, the mechanics, the steps, and some limitations. And now, here are some benefits in performing extemporaneous speech. Okay, so apart from being able to speak well at the moment's notice, extemporaneous speaking improves level of confidence. Next, it tests your organizational skills. And lastly, extemporaneous speaking trains user to be quick with their words. So those are some benefits of extemporaneous speech. Alright, so that is all about extemporaneous speaking. And I'm looking forward for each of you to perform an extemporaneous speech one of these days. Okay, so again, this is Teacher Mitch, your English teacher, saying, don't stop exploring and keep on learning. Goodbye, Greeton. Have a nice day.